Hi, guys. So, welcome to today's episode of Bible Stories. And in today's segment, we'll be talking about five things that you didn't know about Sarah, that is Abraham's wife. Yes, so a lot of us know about the story of Abraham and how God called him out of his father's house into a strange land and God's promise on Abraham. But few of us know about his wife Sarah and things surrounding her life. So today we'll be talking about five interesting things that you probably never knew about Sarah. And we're gonna start with number one. Did you know that Sarah was Abraham's sister? Yes. Sarah was Abraham's younger sister, but from another mother. They were from the same father, came out from the same man, but of different mothers. I guess you never knew that. So, number two, yes, Sarah maltreated her maid. Yes. So Sarah, as at that time, was barren. She was barren for a long time. And when she got tired of waiting for the promised child, she asked her husband Abraham to sleep with her maid so she can bear a child from her maid. And when Abraham did, her maid got pregnant. But after this pregnancy, the maid became very disrespectful to Sarah. So, in retaliation of this disrespect, Sarah began to maltreat her. So, the maltreatment was so bad that the lady had to run out of their house into the wilderness. Yes, so Sarah, had her own shortcomings. She was human, just as we are. So, number three interesting thing about Sarah is that Sarah was so beautiful that a lot of kings sorted out for her to wife her. She was very fair and pretty to the extent that whenever they go to a new city, Abraham would pretend that he was her brother and not her wife, and he would plead with her to pretend not to be his wife. This happened in several occasions, and in one of such times was when they went to Egypt during a famine. So when they entered Egypt, the princes of Pharaoh, they noticed Sarah for her beauty, and they went to tell Pharaoh that there was this pretty lady that they just entered. She entered into the city with her brother. So when they told Pharaoh of that, he called Sarah into his house so that he would wife her. But when that happened, God sent a lot of diseases and plagues to the household of Pharaoh because of Sarah. So because he kept Sarah in his house to wife her, God sent a lot of plagues to the household of Pharaoh. And when he made inquiries as to why these things were happening to him and his family, he found out that it was because of he was harboring a man's wife under his roof. And when Pharaoh found out that Sarah was Abraham's wife, he quickly called Abraham, gave him gifts, gave him back his wife Sarah, and told him to please leave Egypt. So they sent both of them away from Egypt so the whole plagues and diseases happening to them would stop. In another occasion, Abraham and Sarah they were journeying to Gerar. And when they got there, Abraham pleaded with Sarah again that she should pretend to be his sister and not his wife. So when they got into the city, the King Abimelech, he saw Sarah and he loved her. So Abraham had told the king that she was a sister and not the wife. So Abimelech took Sarah into his household. But that night, when Abimelech went to sleep, God appeared to him and told him that he was a dead man for taking another man's wife under his roof, and that the man's wife he was harboring under his roof was a prophet. So immediately God told Abimelech that he pleaded with God that he had no idea that Sarah was Abraham's wife, and that he had not slept with her yet, that he was going to return the woman back to her husband. So the next morning, Abimelech called Abraham and asked him that, why would you do this kind of evil to me? Why do you want God to punish me so badly for something I know nothing about? And Abraham opened up to Abimelech and told him that of a truth, Sarah is his sister, but she is also his wife. That he didn't disclose the information because he feared that Abimelech was going to kill him just to have Sarah as his wife. So Abimelech then gave Abraham back his wife and gave him gifts again. So Abraham was getting lots of gifts because of Sarah's beauty. Yeah, he gave him gifts again and told him that he can stay in Gerar for as long as he wishes. So Abraham took back his wife from King Abimelech. So number 14 you didn't know about Sarah was that God closed the womb of all the women in the house of Abimelech because of Sarah. Yes, God is that intentional. He cares about your emotions so much that he didn't want Sarah to be feeling bad that, oh, women were getting pregnant and she was not pregnant. So while they were in Gerar and in the household of Abimelech, God made sure that no woman got pregnant. It was that God was that intentional about her. And he only opened the womb of the women in the household of Abimelech after Abraham prayed for Abimelech. Yes. So number five interesting thing you never knew about Sarah was that Sarah asked Abraham, her husband, to send away his son Ishmael. Yes. So she asked him after God brought her promised child Isaac to her, after she gave birth to Isaac, she asked Abraham that he should please send away Ishmael, that she wouldn't want her son to share inheritance with a slave boy. And she made Abraham to send Ishmael and his mother to the wilderness. Like she didn't care about if they were going to die or anything like that. She just needed them to get out of her house. Yes. So these things about Sarah are things that show that as humans we have our shortcomings. Yeah, especially this last part, we have our shortcomings, and God still chose us not because of our righteousness. Because if we check throughout the Bible of people that God used and people that God selected to carry the promise, to carry his promise, they were all people with faults. They were all people that had their shortcomings, that had areas where you would easily say that, oh, this person is not deserving of God's love. But still yet, he still chose them. And this goes to tell us that it is not by our righteousness, lest any of us boast. It wasn't by Sarah's righteousness because she had areas where she has shortcomings, but God was still God. He was still very, 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 very loving and still chose her to carry the covenant child and not the slave she maltreated. Yeah, so these are 5 interesting things that you probably didn't know about Sarah. She was Abraham's sister. She was strikingly pretty, very beautiful, with a very beautiful skin that kings would kill for. Yeah, kings would kill for. So Abraham had to lie that she was not the wife so that he would spare his life. Abraham got a lot of gifts because of his wife Sarah. Because of her beauty, he got a lot of gifts. And also, Sarah was someone that she was loved by Abraham, and Abraham listened to her. Whatever she told him, he hearkened to her. Even when she told him to send away his son, he was angry. He was very disturbed and angry about her request, but he still went ahead to do it because God told him that Sarah's child Isaac was a child whom he would fulfill his promise upon, and that he had blessed Ishmael, so Ishmael would not die even if he sends him to the wilderness. And this thing just goes to show how much Abraham also trusted God. Imagine God telling you that, allow, send your child away. Yes, listen to your wife. Send your child away to the wilderness, knowing that this child, there's no man to cater for him. It's just a slave girl that is with him. That's the mother, and they could die in the wilderness. But for Abraham to do just as God and his wife had said, it shows a high level of trust, a high level of surrender, which is what God expects from each and every one of us. So yeah, thank you very much for getting to the end of this story and learning more about the character and the personality of our Christian matriarch, Sarah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button so you know when new videos pop up. Bye.